You're listening to Fun Oldies, 100.9 FM and AM 1450. Welcome to the fastest hour in radio, all about cars. Brought to you by ABC Motors Brusket with your hosts, David Don't Call Me, Dave Spence, and Big Mike Hill.
All right, so Mr. Mike, will he hold it together, folks?
I will. I must.
Just don't promise.
I must.
All right, well, we're not promising him anything because I'm not sure you can. He's going to lose it.
I am not going to lose it. I have to find it in order to lose it, and I haven't found it.
That's pretty good. So now we got a couple other ways that this could happen to this car.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas yet?
Well, I gave you my couple of ideas. Now, I got to tell you, David.
Yes.
The Nissan 720 is kind of a weird animal. They did weird things. They did the 8 plugs in the 4-cylinder with the dual distributor and dual coil and all that stuff. And so I really strongly want to remind people that when I'm talking about the Nissan guru, Bill Benson, giving us advice on the Nissan 720, 1980 to 85, I'm being very specific about that vehicle. Now, that being said, as you and I both know, other vehicles have other anomalies to them. And I know you have some experience with vehicles that'll start up and then be unhappy after a minute or two. And that's where we're going with this, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that this is a Nissan-specific answer.
Right.
It's a couple of things that you look for saying, oh, gee, that's what's wrong with my car. And it's actually a simple thing, and sometimes you don't even think about what the hell, I should have thought of that before.
Exactly. So let's hear those couple of things. And then I want to remind everybody about one thing that people forget.
All right, so let's assume for a minute that the car has not been used for a little while.
Yes.
Okay, and you let it sit. And you were the type of person who let it sit without a bunch of gasoline in it.
Bum, bum, bum.
Now, and suppose everything isn't sealed up perfectly then, like a vent. What can happen to your gas tank? You can end up with, it's possible if it's been a bunch of time, it could be rust, right? You could also end up with lint
water
or dirt or water. Yes, all of those. And all it takes is to get some of that into the systems, particularly, let's say it's lint. Look at that. You suck the lint in, car runs fine, maybe for a minute or so. All of a sudden, car stops. And then the car shut off, and the car will start back up again in a couple of minutes. And this can go on, and you're going, what the hell is wrong? And so an easy trick, of course, is you have to disconnect it up front, blow air down the line, and see if you can't solve your problem, and check inside the tank and see what you got. Okay, also, another thing you can have is just as simple as think about the fuel filter. If you've got rust, if you've got a fuel pump that came apart, that's what I was asking about black stuff.
Right.
Or if you've got lint, etc., and it gets into the fuel filter, the same thing can happen. It can get into the fuel filter, the car runs for a moment, and the car shuts off. It'll start back up in a couple minutes because it's relaxed the pressure off of it, moved it back off the screen, and you get a fuel flow for a moment again. And you'll repeat the cycle over and over. So always, for the amount of money it costs, check your fuel filter.
Absolutely. And you're right on, David. Water can do that too because, as you know, the float in the carburetor, it doesn't know the difference between water and fuel. You could have an amount of water in there. It's one of the things I've done so many times on motorcycles is just go over and drain the float. All of a sudden, everything's happy.
Yeah. Now, why do we get, this is one of the things, people assume you're not going to get water in the system. You get the water in the system from not having the tank full, and you get condensation. Doesn't happen as much here, but what happens in monsoon in this area?
The humidity and the condensation.
Then you get water real easy. The other problem is that even though you think it's all filtered and everything, never be totally certain you didn't go to the gas station and pick up water.
Absolutely.
It actually does happen.
It can, yes.
And it can also happen specifically because it's something people do. And it's one of my pet peeves because it's totally, totally wrong.
I already know what it is.
What is it? What is it? Since you know, what is it?
I'm just going to give you a hint. Click,
Yes.
click, 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 click.
Yeah, does anybody know what the heck he's clicking about? Listen, when you're trying to put that little extra into the gas, quite seriously, putting that in your gas tank, actually clicking that pump can cause problems for the entire system and take stuff that's sitting on the bottom of the pump the gas tank in the ground and actually circulate it, and it gets into everybody's cars and it causes these problems. But
When
we
you're
won't-
topping off like that? Is that
Yes.
what you're talking about?
Not
Yes.
just the topping off, but I got to get to $10, so I'm at $9.93, $9.94, $9.95, $9.96.
Oh, really?
Yes,
click,
this
click.
this is not a joke. It really does do
What
this.
it does is it causes the pumps to surge on the tank excessively. And it can, especially if there are contaminants. Now that's not to say that every time that happens, all of a sudden there's a huge disruption in the fuel systems. That's not what we're saying.
No.
What we're saying is that if there is potential for that problem, doing that will help create it immediately. And that's how you can get stuff in your tank. Now, for most car guys, never causes a problem. Why? Because we maintain our vehicles, we change our fuel filters, we do our things. However, a lot of us have friends and family members that simply fill up and drive and call us when the light comes on.
And wondering why the hell the car doesn't work anymore. And yeah, it's a real issue. You'll see, that's why you see posted on all the gas pumps a little note not to do this. This is really what they're getting at, is you're not supposed to do this because it is impossible, absolutely impossible for the tank and the ground to be kept permanently, perfectly clean. It
Right.
can't be done.
Right.
And so all you're doing is proposing the possibility that somebody's car could get garbage in it, and it could be the reason the car now doesn't work.
Wow. I'm the biggest jerk when it comes to that.
We know, Scott. That's why we brought it up.
If I
We've
tell
been
my
meaning to
wife,
talk
my
to
wife
you.
says, "Yeah, you can put 20 in, put 30 in," just like you said, pump, and then I get mad. I go over 2101.
Well, now you got to go to 22.
Yeah,
Yeah, now you've really messed it up. But my favorite one is to watch when somebody shakes the car when they're filling it with gas. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
I have seen people shake the car when you're filling it with gas.
Well, it holds more that way, they think.
I know they think that, but
getting
it's
the,
like,
getting the gas bubble out.
well, I think they think it's probably more like a bunch of gravel, and if you shake it enough, it all gets a little closer together.
Now, I will tell you
doesn't it?
this I will tell you this, Scott, and you may or may not have known this. Fill up when it's cold. The gas is actually denser, and since it's sold by volume, you're getting more for your dollar because it's
That
denser.
totally makes sense.
That's why if you notice, if you fill up in the morning and then just go park your car, a lot of times you'll smell fuel when it starts heating up outside.
Right.
That gas is expanding and it's venting. So especially if you're going to go for a long drive, don't think, hey, I'm going to fill up in the middle of the afternoon the day before I go. Fill up when it's nice and cold out in the morning. Fill your tank, and you'll get your best density.
Wow.
Yeah, there's also why you see airplanes will drip sometimes in the afternoon
Yep.
because
That totally
of the same
makes sense.
situation.
It's also why it seems like it takes more gas to fill your tank, money-wise, when you go down into the desert and start filling it up. And how does it take that much for a half tank when it only takes this much?
Right. I don't even look at the dial on the pump anymore. I just wait for it to click the one time on my wife's truck because it's like an $80 fill up.
Well, that's because the
And
numbers
so-
spin so fast. I remember when I was a kid, they seemed to go really slow, but now they go so fast, you sometimes wonder if it's going to keep up.
I
Right.
remember when the gallons went faster than
Yeah.
the cost.
I know, wasn't it weird? My
mean,
God,
even
we're
when-
dating ourselves.
Even when it was
Yeah.
$1 a gallon, it was really cool because it just kind of went right with it.
Well,
you
yeah.
know. But I remember when it was 37 cents a gallon.
Oh, no way.
I did better
Really?
than that. Yeah, Metro 500 when I was growing up in Minneapolis area, they used to be $29.9, and they had girls in hot shorts that pumped the gas.
Wow. It was
Hell of a lot better
75
than
when
now.
I first started driving, 75 cents a gallon.
Ooh, I just said I'm older than everybody.
Well, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
You're classic,
I might be older,
David.
but I'm better
You're
looking,
classic.
so what?
So I'll tell you the one thing that I was going to mention that I think a lot of people, we were talking about things that can cause problems that people don't realize.
Yeah.
Scott, you ever seen somebody pops their hood and they've got all the cool dress-up kit on their engine and everything looks cool and they've got the chrome sleeve on their coil?
Right.
That's really not good. All it is a metal heat retainer that just overheats your coil, cuts down the life expectancy. Not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. Damn, it looks nice. No, actually,
You wouldn't put one of those on your car
You
for
know I
anything.
wouldn't. I know you. I know you know I wouldn't. But it's the same thing that used to happen. I had a 1950 Chevrolet that I put a later 235 engine in. The coil was mounted to the block head area. And so what happens in Arizona in the summer? It gets hot. And you're wondering, why the hell does the car run great and all of a sudden the car doesn't work?
Right.
And in a few minutes later, it works. And we were talking about a fuel problem, but that was entirely a coil problem because it was getting hot. So
Absolutely.
you're quite correct. There, it's a bad mounting. You're talking about why the hell are you going to put it in a can and make sure it's going to get hot? Because
Right.
it will not work.
A lot of times, people have parts chromed that don't make a difference, like valve covers. Great, no big deal. Air cleaner, great, no big deal. Alternator chroming, bad. Creates more and more heat. Now, there are some companies out there that have high heat, blah, blah, blah. Not talking about those. I'm talking about the cheap chrome dress-up kit stuff.
Oh, right.
Stay away from it. You know, I know everybody thinks that it looks cool, but I got news for you. Nothing looks cool when it's being pushed down the side of the road.
Right.
I know that's mega embarrassing.
It really is. It really is. We've got all kinds of stuff, David. I was going to actually tell you a quick little story.
No story.
A quick story, because I've only got about 48 seconds left. I can hear the music in the background for my story. It's perfect. It'll be like we're out on the campground.
All right, let's hear the story.
The story is, I picked up a car at ABC Motors Prescott at 316 South Montezuma. I drove it next door to Tire Bros and more, had tires put on it. Then I stopped by the flower shop at 721 Miller Valley Road, got some flowers, drove all the way out into the Granite Dells to go see Erin at the Hair Lair down there on the corner of Highway 89 and Hillsdale. Looked through her beautiful pane glass window that was put in by Chino Valley Glass, saw Erin's beautiful smile that was provided to her by Bauer Dental Care, and I went in, and she was listening to All About Cars on 100.9 FM, 1450 AM, brought to you by ABC Motors Prescott, and we'll be right back.
What a cheap plug.